AEW has no storylines. I bet you've heard that before. Where reality is, they do. And in 2025, AEW is bursting with deep, long-term narratives spanning men's and women's divisions, from Death Riders drama to women's alliances and betrayals. There's more happening on Dynamite and Collision than you think. Let's break it all down. At the core of AEW's storytelling this year is a Death Riders saga. Moxley's heel faction, featuring Wheeler Yuta, Castagnoli, Marina Shafir, and Ak, has morphed into the longest-running dark force in AEW, with their dominance culminating in a Texas death match at All In Texas. Here, Hangman Page symbolically ended Moxley's reign, ushering Darby Allin into the spotlight in a dramatic return from injury. Allin didn't just assist in the win, he reignited the original spirit of Page's redemption arc. Together, they now stand as foes of the Death Riders, setting up high-stakes clashes like the upcoming Forbidden Door, Lights Out Steel Cage in London, with Will Ospreay, Tanahashi, Kenny Omega, and Ibushi. Since 2024, the tension between MJF and Hangman Page has been simmering. Their grudge reignited at Revolution 2025, where Page scored a brutal win. Recently, MJF tried to manipulate Page into luring him into accepting a match, when Page turned the tables on MJF and got him to prematurely cash in his contract at Forbidden Door. Another example of AEW's emphasis on layered emotional storytelling over a long period of time. Another example of the long-term booking is the teasing of the Young Bucks and the Death Riders. The Young Bucks' return and alliance with the Death Riders backfired as they tried to shift the power forever in their favor, which failed at All In. Now at Forbidden Door, Moxley has turned to them once again for help. But will they turn on them at Forbidden Door? This is another layer that we can look forward to. Now let's turn to the women's division. Athena has been teasing a cash-in for weeks on Toni Storm before deciding to cash it in at the upcoming pay-per-view, making for great television as always when Toni is involved. Willow and Statlander are feuding again, with another Statlander heel turn in the works. And the Triangle of Madness, led by Tekla, will be teaming up with Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford for the first ever women's blood and guts match, potentially at All Out Toronto. These new factions are being featured on TV every week, building new characters like Tekla and Queen Aminata to freshen the division and the future potential tag division. Now let's talk comparisons. WWE in 2025? It's still banking on the same top names that's recycled feuds week after week. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, phenomenal talents, but the stories around them haven't evolved in years. It's rinse and repeat. The same run-ins, the same scripted promos, the same safe booking designed for TV deals and not fan satisfaction. New faces like Karrion Kross or LA Knight, who got over organically, are barely featured, or even worse, released. Meanwhile, AEW constantly rotates talent into the spotlight. Now, while they do book way too many pointless matches on TV and rely heavily on multi-person tag matches, at least they're giving us new talents on TV all the time, and not the same show every single week. There is a balance that needs to be found, and this is one of AEW's biggest issues. AEW is operating with more ambition than WWE in 2025. They're building multi-division arcs, weaving storylines, and creating reasons for fans to stay emotionally invested. With all of these AEW storylines, I still haven't mentioned a ton more, including Edge and Christian and FTR. AEW isn't afraid to evolve stories over months, something WWE currently struggles with. AEW needs to do a much better job of explaining their stories to their audience, because unless you're a weekly viewer, you have no idea what's going on. So the next time someone tells you AEW has no storylines, nod politely and tell them to keep watching. Because right now, AEW's storytelling is richer, more diverse, and more long-term than ever before. So what stories are you most invested in? Drop a thought in the comments, and subscribe to the channel for daily wrestling content.